Dr. Eng Ho has more than 2 decades of entrepreneurial and executive experience in digital health, data analytics, and clinical research. She has helped numerous companies develop information technology products for pharmaceutical services. She has also held senior management roles in many startups and mature companies in the life sciences. Most recently, she was interim CEO of Veradigm, formerly Allscripts, one of the largest ambulatory electronic health record companies in the United States. And excitedly, Ing is an author. Her soon to be published book is called Rushing Headlong: Health IT's Legacy and the Road to Responsible AI. In it, she examines whether generative AI can bridge long standing gaps and workarounds in privacy, clinical care, and research. Welcome, Eng. Congratulations on your new book. And I'm so glad that you're part of my book, No Fear, No Failure. I wonder if we could start off with your offering some practical advice for organizations that are looking to figure out how to use AI. And as you told us in the interview for the book, it's not necessarily about sending all of your employees out to get certifications in the technical aspects of AI. There is so much more to being able to bring this new technology into your organization and apply it. So let me ask you to comment on that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for involving me in this amazing project. I really appreciate it. And, the question around sort of practical advice to give to anyone, it really still comes down to fundamentals. It really comes down to what problem are you trying to solve, or what's the goal you're trying to achieve. And that it really is the time that really needs to be spent inside of a company, inside of an organization, and particularly in healthcare, is what are you trying to do? How will it affect everyone? And have very robust discussions first around what you're trying to accomplish. And then the second question to ask after that is, can this be achieved with a process that's human-led or just humans? Or is it a process that can be done better with humans, including tools? So, and I use humans in both situations because I do think that it's a question of whether or not the process is just managed better by people, or if it's better managed by people using very, very sophisticated tools to support a common objective or an objective that's been defined.
I really like that response, Ing, because it indicates that our applications really need to be fit for purpose, understanding what the situation is. And so often we find ourselves with a new technology and there's just a rush to apply it, whether it makes sense or not. As you know, the words no fear are in the title of the new book. And yet you say that you have found an almost paralyzing fear among companies when it comes to the use of AI. What advice do you have for those trying to create an organizational culture that welcomes change? And it's not letting fear of lawsuits, regulatory agencies, or even something new that they don't really understand get in the way. What should they do differently?
I really believe that companies want to do the right thing. And so, for the most part, their employees or even within their organization, there are a lot of good ideas or at least partial ideas that really require some time and effort to think through. And I think what's more important culturally is that companies create enough of a safe space in which ideas can be discussed and actually discussed fully in a way so that before you start saying it's not possible or there are these risks that we should be worried about, let the idea play itself out. There's certainly no harm in talking through an idea to talk through how it could be done, what's possible, what did you not think of, and then move in the direction of basically saying what kind of risk could there be and how would we start to mitigate that, or is it not even worth it? I think there is this iterative approach and this openness that is really required for organizations to thrive in thinking about how they can incorporate either a new technology Or even if they choose not to incorporate the technology, they are comfortable in why they aren't doing it. But to sort of curtail discussion early doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I think this is really where organizations can really be much more practical by sort of creating that culture of letting ideas be thought through before they start attacking them.
Well, thank you for joining us, Ing, and for sharing your experiences. Very good advice.
Thank you.
We'll announce our next Champions of Change conversation on LinkedIn. In the meantime, you can pre-order your copy of No Fear, No Failure on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and bookshop.org.